when you're making a mix with DJing, you're like blending two fully created tracks together, either just mashing them together with full volume and seeing how they sound together, or you're manipulating different parts of each track through EQing or filtering or effects, trimming away some parts of each individual track so that they fit together better in the mix. If you want to fit more sounds into a box and still have it be comprehensible, you have to take some stuff out of the box to make room for it. A lot of DJing is actually before you're performing, like any other craft really, but making some sort of sorting system for yourself that makes sense and that you can remember when you're in the moment and know how to find certain tracks that would fit well in the moment and in a sort of intuitive way. There are no strict rules with DJing, and some people do have set playlists that they go from and choose from when they're playing. It's just like a very curated approach. Personally, I like to add a sense of randomness and intuition to my approach, where I'll have a pool of tracks that do blend well with each other, and if the moment arises, I can just go to that general mood, that folder, and pick from it to match whatever vibe I'm trying to convey. Then I can take chances outside of that and do mixes between tracks that may not sound good in my head, but actually in reality may make some sense. But if it's more loose and people seem to be more open, or you have already captivated people's attention for quite a long time, they trust you, then you can go into these more experimental realms and try certain things. I feel like the more you kind of know the tracks that you're playing, the more kind of prepared you are for those like unexpected moments. So it's a bit like non-intuitive, like you can get to those unexpected moments and they can be amazing, but like the more adept you are at DJing, the more you'll kind of avoid those types of unexpected moments. I do appreciate like an element of surprise where if I don't fully know how a track will blend with another upon a certain transition, then like that is sort of welcomed and to see what that would sound like. My father's an installation artist, Hiroshi Kariya, part of the Fluxus movement, and I'm not an expert in it, but from what I understand, it is all about focusing on the process of art versus the actual final product. My father, kind of embraces this idea, and it also goes in line with the Japanese idea of wabi-sabi, which is kind of embracing imperfections and like, displaying the process like within his work. He had this exhibit in 1979 at MoMA PS1 where he had water dripping from the ceiling into a pool of water that was mic'd up and amplified around the room with unbalanced wires, so it would pick up passing taxi cabs and conversations. And so he had 33 people in this dark room. One of the members was John Cage. Improvisational nature of Fluxus art creation is similar to the process of DJing and mixing, because it is very like process oriented things. No way to go back to a previous time, so as far as we know. So kind of continuing along and just accepting the mistakes as part of the process, as part of the work, and as part of the overall mix. The audience is the performance, and where the environment is. One is part of it, can give some sort of accountability to be more present and feel like there's there's something I can observe from this or gain from it. And I think for me it usually is about like self-reflection and kind of like pondering and while observing. I think there's a lot of benefit to these types of performances that are less structured and more abstract and substance rich. One can sit with it, practicing presence, not reacting to the discomfort and just kind of like sitting in it. Our brains want to be shown what to pay attention to. Once you can kind of let go of the feeling of there is a correct path, so that noticing that there isn't, I think is pretty freeing.